Hey, it's Alex Goad, small business specialist, coach, author, and today we're going to continue with a lightning success session from 10x Your Life. We're going to talk about today is the master switch of life. And I'm not kidding when I say this, because you're going to see that if you have that, then you may have 10 times the energy of a normal person, 10 times the motivation, 10 times the ability to get hard things done. And if you don't have it, you might feel like you're aimless, that you don't know where you're going, and that it doesn't matter much anyways. So what's this magical master switch of life? Because there really is one thing that will make you live longer and give you more health. That same thing will give you more money and more success, and at the same time, the very same thing will give you more energy. It's perhaps the absolute most desirable thing that you can uncover for yourself in your life, because it makes the biggest difference, and that difference, like a rising tide, lifts all the other ships of your life. Here's what it is, if you haven't guessed already: purpose. So, you know, human beings are remarkably similar from one to the other. And if we look at mainstream, we see that everybody's kind of got this average. And that the people that are below average are a little bit below average, and then there's some people that are a little bit above average, and then there's people that are all the way over here, almost in the stratosphere. And you think, what's up with those people? Do they have superhuman abilities, intelligence, physical stamina, whatever you want to call it? And the truth is that they do. But it's not a genetic thing, it's not a physical thing, it's something that's happening inside, and it's in fact almost a soulful thing, and that thing is purpose. Someone who has a tremendous amount of meaning in their life, that for who everything that they do is extraordinarily significant because it fits in this larger framework called purpose and meaning and mission. Well, those people are capable of extraordinary things. Now, it so happens that stumbling into your fully developed purpose is something that almost never happens by accident. That's why we have kind of a 1%, or even the top performers in the world, they're not even in the 1%, they're maybe in the 1,000th%. And the reason why they're so high up there is because they have more purpose than other people who aren't there. They know exactly what they want, and it means so much to them that they would prefer to get up early in the morning. They would prefer to do hard work than to relax or be distracted. In essence, their life and their inner environment is set up in a way that furthering that purpose and that mission is so important that it trumps everything else. It's almost like a positive addiction, if that can exist. So, here's the most important thing to remember, is that if you don't feel like you have a sense of purpose, it's not because there isn't one for you, it's because you haven't found it yet. And research shows that there really is a way that you develop this. It doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design, and here's how you design it. There's 3 steps. Number 1, you gotta explore. And it turns out that when we're young, that's what we feel like doing. But if we stop too soon, if we're too shy about it, if we're too intimidated, too scared, or if we stay stuck in our heads and we don't go out there on the territory and actually experience things for ourselves, we get stuck in that thinking trap, and we never really connect with something to the point where in that exploration we feel like, wow, this is exciting, I like doing this. Because that's the purpose of step 1. Explore until you find something that really starts tickling you from the inside, and you don't know exactly why, but you know that this means something to you, and that when you do it, it makes you feel good. And when you look at people doing it extraordinarily well, it fills you with a sense of positive envy and desire to be able to do it also. Which brings you to the second step. So the second step is practice. And the goal of practice, obviously, is to get good at the thing that interested you. So this tends to happen almost by accident, but of course you can do it more by design. So once you find something that interests you through exploration, you move on to the practice stage. And here you're looking for mentors, coaches, teams, associations, communities, places where you can train and practice the skill or the thing that piqued your curiosity, your interest, until you really see yourself becoming better and better at it. And when you become better at it, what happens is that eventually you're able to create tremendous value, not just for yourself, but for other people. And this starts to be noticed. And actually, when you start adding value to other people's lives, this is where purpose really comes full circle. And we'll see that in a minute, but the last stage is to contribute. So you find something that you're good at, you find something, that interests you, you become good at it, and then you put that thing in service towards the greater good, and that's when your life becomes fantastic. That's when the level of meaning becomes something that's kind of like almost like a nuclear fuel that you can use for everything in your life. And here's what it looks like, is really that there's a continuum in life, and I think that you'll agree that this tends to happen very naturally, where in the beginning of life we're disproportionately focused on ourselves, and we should be focused on ourselves because we're tremendously vulnerable and we have nothing. We have no knowledge, no contacts, no skills, no abilities. So of course we may have the desire to help others at this point and the desire to be a contributing member of society, but we don't have the ability to do it. So this is how, at some point, you acquire skills. You become more useful. You become able, you become a container or a machine, an engine that's able to create value in the world. And as that value increases, your focus shifts from yourself to the outside world, to the place where that value can really bloom. And so this really comes down to a model of life that was taught to me by my Kung Fu Grandmaster Nam An. And this very, very intelligent and studied man in Eastern and Western philosophy. And essentially he showed us that the goal of a great life and the goal of a martial life is essentially to first vanquish yourself, learn to love the world, learn to love humanity, and then put yourself in service of it. And if that doesn't match almost perfectly with this idea of having purpose and how you find that purpose and how you make your life great, well, I don't know what does. So this is the recipe. It doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, and nobody else can do it for you. You need to get on that road. You need to get on the journey. And that means that, of course, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be obstacles, but you know what? Those are actually some of the most educational and important points on the road itself. So welcome them exactly the same way as you welcome an oasis or an exciting discovery. All I can do is encourage you to keep on looking for it, because when you find your purpose, it's like you have something incredibly precious that so very few people have. But when you do have it, it elevates you in a way that you'd have trouble imagining it if you haven't felt it so far. And the deeper you go, the higher it brings you. So that's it for today's quick lightning session. I hope that you get your own master switch of life. And I hope that you at least follow this equation as much as possible, because you'll see that even if you don't believe that you'll end up at the goal, every time that you do this, your life will improve, your capacities will improve, your self-confidence will improve, and your sense of being in the right place at the right time doing the right thing will shoot through the roof. So, thanks for watching. I'm Alex Goad, encouraging you to do something about it today, because every single day counts, including this one right now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.